I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of my dream echo in my head and force me awake. I rubbed my eyes before sitting up and looking at my clock.
7 a.m.? Why am I up so early?
I fell back onto the bed and closed my eyes, trying to go back to sleep. However, something kept me awake. Why?
It's too early to even be alive.
I gave up and sat up, staring at the fireplace across from my bed. A sigh escaped from between my lips before I threw my legs over the side of the bed. What to do at 7 a.m. in the morning? No.
Do we care about doing the magic again?
No, just whatever's gonna be faster.
Coffee, I guess?
I decided making coffee was my best bet in surviving the rest of the day.
Why not? Haven't had coffee in forever. I don't even know how I'm still living.
I do. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink coffee.
Blasphemy!
It's the truth!
Blasphemy!
If I'm a sinner, then I'm a sinner! I got out of bed and made my way to the kitchen. Unconcerned that I was in pajama pants and a tank top, I rummaged through the cabinets for a coffee machine and any makings for coffee. Surely my grandfather had some.
A French press? Well, it's better than nothing.
I thought that said a bench press at first.
That's totally coffee related.
As I began to make my coffee, I checked my emails and texts on my phone. No new emails, important emails, they were still as a spam. No text messages. I sighed. I quickly made my coffee just how I liked it and sat on the counter. But then, I began to wonder.
Would this happen every day?
I let the question linger in my mind. For a whole morning, I did not think about boys or Malix. Everything was peaceful. Everything was average. Nothing magical or dangerous or unusual.
Dots.
I simply drank my coffee as I let the thought marinate in the back of my mind.
More sleep, thank you.
I returned to bed, feeling the weight of the morning drag me under my covers to try sleeping again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep. It was Sunday. What a black day. Annie, are you okay? And nothing was happening today.
What?
Annie, are you okay? Would you tell us that you're okay?
On eyes, back to sleep.
I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I looked at my phone to check the time once again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer.
Why is time going so slowly?
I sighed, got changed into normal clothes, and went out to the main hall and sat on the stairs. Sundays were very boring. However, the muffled sounds of battle caught my attention.
Huh?
I quickly went out to the backyard in response to the noise I had heard. In the yard were all 5 of the boys practicing fighting. Sam was in the middle with the other 4 surrounding him and throwing punches and kicks at him. Sam, being the strongest of the bunch, blocked and dodged each almost masterfully.
Almost.
Do we want a hay or not hay?
Does it matter?
I don't think it does. Let's just not disturb them so we don't have to deal with it. I just watched. The boys were very much in their own world, focusing on the training they all were in. It was much better not to disturb them. I checked the time and decided to head inside to the kitchen. I was getting hungry and I'm sure the boys would need to eat soon, so lunch was a must.
Might as well make lunch today. It's been a while since I cooked.
Lunch wasn't particularly hard. We made chicken and rice 2 times. Let's make...
No, because the thing is, it's protein. They need protein because they're fighting and training, and that gets us a plus with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, oh, thank you for the food if you give them protein.
Wait, are you seriously telling me that if we give them different food, they're not gonna like us?
Not gonna, not romance us, but they're not gonna be like, oh, thanks, that was really considerate of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
These boys need to stop being so picky.
They need protein!
They could get protein in pizza, get pepperoni pizza, sausage,
No.
other meats. Cold cuts have protein. Fine, do the chicken and rice.
Gotta keep their energy and strength up with protein.
I took my time. Sorry. It's just almost perfect chicken breast just sounds so weird. I'm sorry, I'm a middle schooler. I took my time to make almost perfect chicken breasts alongside some rice. Cooking wasn't hard unless you didn't know what you were doing in the first place.
Which most people don't.
I placed the food in the dining room. However, none of the boys were there by the time I brought the final dish out. I carried that dish to the main lobby, catching the boys separating into different rooms of the house. Part of me wanted to go to one in particular. The other part of me wanted to just leave them be and take the food in my hand in my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys focus on training. Yeah, find one in the incubi. I quickly rushed back and grabbed a second food dish before hunting down one of the boys. I returned to the backyard, hoping to find an incubus still there. Luckily, my gut feeling was right. Erik was beside the gazebo. I'm sorry, everything is funny today. It's like gazelle, but it's a gazebo. I don't know what's wrong with me, okay?
Did you have a drink already?
No! It's like a gazelle and a zebra, like a gazebo. Erik was beside the gazebo, looking at a small flower that was growing on the railing of it. As I approached, Erik turned his head and smiled his usual smile.
Hello, princess.
Gross.
Hey, Erik, I've got some lunch for you.
Really? You did not have to do that, princess.
You're right, I didn't. You should appreciate it. No, it's fine here.
Erik smiled and took his food, eating a little bit before looking to the flower again. Out of curiosity, I looked as well. It was a simple white daisy in full bloom. Erik shook his head and chuckled softly as I joined him in flower gazing.
Sorry, I was simply reminded of home.
With a teeny tiny daisy?
Were you a gardener? Did you have a fling with a gardener?
Huh? Oh, no, you're fine. What about home were you reminded of?
Here we go. Erik looked to the sky with a soft sigh and smile before looking to the flower again.
The castle, mainly. Despite us not being there anymore, it was still our home. We grew up there our entire lives as brothers. There wasn't a day that went by when we weren't all doing something exciting. It was an empty excitement, of course, but it was still something that bonded us all together.
That doesn't explain the flower metaphor yet. Whatever allegory, metaphor, symbol. Explain yourself. Erik slightly trailed off, looking lost in the nostalgia of his thoughts. I didn't know if I wanted to bother him while he remembered something so obviously important to him. Tell me more.
Tell me more, tell me more.
I don't ask questions, I command. Erik turned to me again with a slightly surprised look.
You wish to know more?
It's a friggin' other world. Who wouldn't want to know more?
Why not? I'm just really curious about the place that you lived in.
Erik nodded before looking to the flower again. After a second, he gained a look of realization before looking to me again.
Would you like me to show you something instead?
No.
Already?
Keep the pants on.
I thought we weren't at the flashback part yet.
We are... Yeah, actually, this is pretty early. I tilted my head in confusion, but nodded nonetheless. What I was expected could not have prepared me for what I saw. Please don't. What? What? Erik gently brushed his fingers against the petal of the daisy, making it gently quake at his touch. As the daisy abnormally shivered, that's so weird.
This is so weird.
Oh, this feels like a really gross virginity allegory. I don't like this. Its petals shifted from white to purple. The yellow center greatly gently faded to a pink hue as the stem began to burn black. I could only stare as Erik plucked the flower from its place and presented it to me.
Watch closely.
I kept my eyes to the flower as Erik began to mutter something. It sounded close to Latin, but I wasn't sure. Regardless, the flower began to glow in Erik's hand. Small crystal-like spores floated up from the pink center and began to form a circle in the air. As the circle closed, the center filled with smoke, forming a screen of some sort. It was misty, so I couldn't see anything. What is going on?
All that's coming to mind right now is that one panel from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure where Polnareff is like, "That's bullshit, but I'll believe it."
What is this?
Just watch.
Whatever. I raised an eyebrow, but I followed his instruction. Eventually, the mist faded away, revealing a large throne room. It was all of stone and tile, with the throne itself covered in red fabric and gold metal, despite it being a mirror image in a magic mirror that was a flower, mind you. I felt small looking at the side of the throne room.
Wow, that looks amazing.
That's our castle. It's a wonderful place. Servants and parties galore.
I don't think Damien would agree with you.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. Like, I think you had a very different life from some of your other brothers.
Does your father sit on the throne while he's at parties?
Very much so. He despises dancing and socializing, so he makes the throne his home.
Okay, that was weird. That was a weird way to say it.
Do you think he's still there now?
I must have struck a small chord with Erik, because he hesitated before responding. Erik smiled only slightly.
We don't know. When we left, we didn't look back. However, we are sure he's still there, since no one followed us out of the abyssal plains.
As far as you know.
I bit my lip. Maybe I shouldn't have asked. I felt really bad. However, I didn't feel it for long. The magic suddenly stopped and faded away while Erik dropped the daisy. As the daisy turned back to its white and yellow color, Erik dropped to a knee, groaning in pain. He took an arrow to the knee already.
Erik, are you alright?
Yes, princess. I'm fine. I just used too much energy, that's all.
I dropped to a knee to try and examine. Examining him. I dropped to a knee to try and examine Erik closer. His face was pale while his purplish eyes shifted back and forth between purple and gold. His breath was heavy, which concerned me. He used too much energy? That meant he needed more.
Please don't worry, princess. I'm fine. Don't worry your beautiful head about it.
Shut up.
Mwah!
I felt responsible, even though I technically didn't do anything that caused this.
We asked him to show us or something.
He offered to show us. I felt responsible. I had to help. God. I quickly grabbed Erik's face and tilted his head to angle with mine, shifting myself closer. I brought my lips to his and kissed him deeply. I didn't know if this would help, but it was how he got energy before. I shut my eyes, waiting for the draining feeling to reappear in my body. However, Erik grabbed my shoulders and forced me back. I opened my eyes and stared into his frightened golden eyes in surprise. At the same time, I noticed a pink hue run across Erik's face.
Princess? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I don't know why, but I felt both irritated and accomplished at the question, and at the look he was giving me. Where was his flirting? Where was his cocky smirk? From what I remembered, he took advantage of me when we met, yet now he was acting inferior to me. I grabbed his hands and removed them from my shoulders, tangling my fingers with his.
I'm trying to help and give you some of my energy. You used your energy to show me that sight, so I want to pay you back for that. Unless you don't want me to help.
I don't.
Well, I've already taken your energy once before.
Well, that was before. I want to give you energy now. Just let me.
All of a sudden, I felt that familiar feeling of warmth run through my body once again. I felt my body slightly heat up, as Erik quickly released my hands and wrapped them around my waist, dropping to both knees in front of me. What? Wait, what? Wait, what?
I'm sorry, what?
I was just going line by line. What?
What's happening?
Wait. Okay, hold on. Okay, he's on both his knees with his arms around our waist, but we're on one knee, and yet he leans his forehead to us. I don't think this anatomy works out very well. Oh no, don't tell me.
Look, I have to act out poses all the time for art's sake.
Alright, fine. I'm gonna be Erik, because I hate him. Alright, so if I'm tall...
So he was on one knee before.
And then he went...
Well, like, you're taller than me, right?
Yeah.
So get up on one of your knees.
This is stupid. This is so stupid.
So if I'm like this.
Mm-hmm.
So Erik would be like up here.
I guess. And if I drop the both knees, it's like,
So just like an inch or
ow. I've learned nothing from this other than that I hate Erik. He stared at me with desire in his gaze as he pulled my body to his. Erik leaned his forehead to mine, letting the tips of our noses gently caress each other as he spoke. He's just like,
That's what I was laughing at.
It's just like vigorous, like nose touching, just like,
No.
No,
Gently caress.
no, it's vigorous.
No.
Anyway, he spoke.
Right.
You spoke.
Wait, I thought they were on their
Whoa.
knees.
Exactly. This is what I've been trying to explain. None of this makes sense.
Now he's pushed us down.
No. It says that I'm on top of him.
That is
This
not what the art
doesn't
shows.
make sense. Before I knew it, I was on top of Erik as he laid on the grass below. I stared wide-eyed as he pulled me into a hot and passionate kiss with a gentle hand on the back of my head. A hand on my head. Erik's other hand rested on the small of my back while I rested my hands on his chest. Oh god. I moved myself to straddle his hips to be comfortable in the kiss. The energy from my body was slowly draining, making me feel light and warm. It was almost pitiful how comfortable and how willing I was in this situation. Still, I had no regrets. I was enjoying every bit of this kiss.
I'm so not used to seeing boys wear belts that I'm like, your pants look really weirdly like tight and uncomfortable.
It looks like a matador costume to me. Like the bottom half just like makes you think of like matadors.
It just makes me think of like host clubs, which is probably the point.
Yeah. While Erik held me, okay, here we go. Now we actually look like the art. While Erik held me, he
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! I need to turn my head. You see, his ear's upside down. It's upside down. His ear's upside down. I can't get through this scene. Oh my god. I don't want to think about this anymore. I'm gonna die. I'm like, you point out anything else and I'm going to die. Quite literally. Well, Erik held me. What? He has a really shiny butt. What? Why did they do that? I feel like we're ruining this for any Erik fans out there. Oh my god,
I've been ruining Erik for Erik fans since the very start.
I mean, it's true, because I've hated him since the start, but...
Shiny butt.
He probably, you know what, if we want to do a logical thing, that's actually a grass stain, because he was sitting down in the grass without thinking about it, and so he has grass stains on his butt, because he's a loser! While Erik held me, he gently rolled us both over so he was on top of me, kissing me hotly and holding me tightly with his freshly made grass stains on his booty. I was tempted to wrap my legs around him and his grass-stained booty, but I remained focused on the kiss.
I'm actually crying.
Oh my god! This scene is a mess. I'm sorry. We're a mess. It was better that I was on the bottom anyway, with my energy slowly fading from my body. However, the draining feeling suddenly stopped as Erik pulled away and looked down at me. You know what's gonna happen? He's gonna be like, we're done now, and we're gonna have to be like, no, we're not. I stared up at him as we both panted for air. I had never kissed like that before, and I was so lost in the moment that I'd forgotten how to breathe. Good job. Erik, however, didn't move from me, but moved a strand of hair from my face, eyes still full of desire.
I'm completely full, and yet I still desire you.
Oh, you do not say that! You do not! Oh god.
Is this hurting you as a writer?
Not only is, first of all, it's hurting me as a writer, I just... I'm gonna cry. I could feel the hold of his mind-altering spell fade away, but I still felt hot. Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if I truly did want to give any more, because I know I don't, but she do.
Why did you just point at me?
I was trying to point at Laundry.
Laundry. Laundry can fix that shiny butt.
Oh my god.
But
I want to say I'm out of here, but we have to keep going. I opened the opportunity, and I was enjoying it as much as he was. I wanted more, and I was going to let him keep going.
I have actual tears coming out.
I wanted to keep going. I reached up, pulled him down, and kissed him, giving him silent approval to keep going. I could feel him pull on the tail of my bow, releasing it and following his hand off from around my neck. He moved the ribbon to the ground beside me. It's gonna get lost in the grass, thanks a lot, asshole. Beside me, before gently unbuttoning the top buttons of my blouse, stopping at the buttons above my stomach. Why would
That's different.
What are you?
He went, everyone else only went down to the chest, and he's like,
Eric, you ungrateful slut. The desire in my body drove me insane, forcing a moan to escape my lips as he ran kisses from my lips to my exposed neck. As he began to ravish my neck and shoulder in hot kisses, I leaned my head back against the grass and let a pleasureful sigh escape my lips. Eric was ruthless in his passionate kisses on my skin. Eric didn't stop touching and kissing me, making more moans and gasps rush out of my mouth into the open air. It can't go into the open air if he is kissing you. No! No! I just read the end of the line! No! He was full, but he was as hot as I was. I couldn't even comprehend how much time we spent making out. I was so lost in the pleasure that I didn't care. Call it sinful, but I didn't care. I loved it. His touch, his kiss, his heat, his stupid grass butt. I desired it beyond anything at that moment, even as he lowered his kisses down my chest to just above my bra. My heart was beating wildly in my chest. Something about Erik intrigued me immensely, and something made my heart quicken for him. It couldn't have been love, but it was too passionate to be lust. Laundry, you're wrong, alright? It's the latter. It's the latter. What was it? What is this feeling in my chest? However, I began to feel dizzy, seeing the sky start to spin almost wildly. I gripped onto Erik's shoulder, trying to signal him to stop, but my mind faded to black before I could let out another sound. Thanks. I felt good. I didn't care that I was blacked out. I felt warm and fuzzy in the darkness.
That's not how blacking out works.
I never knew indulging in that kind of passion would be that good. I now just waited to awaken, hopefully in a good way. My eyes eventually fluttered open, adjusting to the sight around me. I felt familiar silks underneath me, letting me know that I was in my bed. I slowly sat up, stretching from the tiredness that still lingered. I felt a very soft pain on my neck and shoulders, and I could feel my swollen lips pulse gently in healing. However, when I looked down at my body, I saw that my shirt had been pulled back up and rebuttoned as if nothing happened between me and Erik. I was just missing my ribbon. Before I turned to get out of bed, though, I spotted my ribbon on the pillow beside the one I slept on. It was tied in a nice bow around the daisy Erik had picked, with a small note attached to it. I gently slipped the note from the tie and opened it to read it.
You've spoiled me, my princess. I am eternally grateful that you let me indulge like that. Have a good rest.
Aggressive eye rolling.
I stared the note, letting a small smile grace my lips. Spoiled him. I enjoyed it, despite the first-time circumstance. It was cute, though, to imagine him thanking me for something we both did and enjoyed. I brought the daisy to my nose and gently inhaled its soft fragrance, letting the memories of our meeting flood my mind.
I indulged myself too, Erik.
I looked to the time out of curiosity. The large white numbers on my phone showed 5:31 p.m.
Yikes! 4 hours of being knocked out and I still feel tired.
It was Sunday, so I was allowed to sleep longer if I wanted to. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued to train with each other but were kind enough to stop and make me dinner. I was glad for that. Unsurprisingly, the food was perfect, but it felt a little empty without the boys to eat with me. They had most likely had already eaten, but still, I felt lonely. I couldn't let it bother me. I ate and went back to my room to study and sleep. Yeah, see, look, I don't remember when, but at some point we disappeared from the screen. We don't show up anymore. Surprisingly, I felt good going to bed that night. I felt like I could have a peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I had. I felt good.